Alright, today we're starting Chapter 8. So we're going to start off with Section 1, which is composition of functions. Basically, the big thing that you have to remember about composition of functions is that when you compose two functions, you are not multiplying the functions together. Okay, that's not what it means. A composition of functions is a new operation that we've never talked about before. So basically, the gist of a composition of functions is what you can see with my drawing here. So I've got my two functions here, my function machines. My first function is x squared. My second function is x plus 1. So essentially, when you have a composite of two functions, let's say I have a composite of this function and this function, what I do, let's just say I put a 7 into this function machine. If I put a 7 in here, then I have 7 squared and I get out a 49. Then if I compose that function with my next function, that means that whatever answer I get out, I plug into this next function here, so I would have 49 plus 1, which means that I would get out a 50. So essentially, when you're composing functions, you're just plugging your answer into two different functions, okay, but it has to be in order because whatever answer you get out of the first function is what you plug in to the next function. So let's do an example. So let's say I've got f of x is negative 2x squared and g of x is 6x plus 1. And I want to evaluate g of f of 2. Well, I do my innermost parentheses first, so that means that the first thing I'm going to do is f of 2. So I have g of, if I plug a 2 into f, I have negative 2 times 2 squared. Okay? So then, if I take 2 squared, that's 4, this times 2 is negative 8, that means I'm taking g of negative 8. So then, this negative 8, I plug into g, which will give me 6 times negative 8 plus 1, which gives me negative 48 plus 1, which is negative 47. Okay, if I do this one, this is another way to write it. This is f following g of negative 3, I still do my g of negative 3 first. So the first thing I'm going to do is plug a negative 3 here into g. So I've got 6 times negative 3 plus 1. Okay, so 6 times negative 3 is negative 18, plus 1 gives me negative 17, which means I actually have f of negative 17. So if I plug that negative 17 into my